In the ancient land of Greece, Hercules was born into a world that was both divine and mortal. His father, Zeus, was the king of the gods, while his mother, Alcmene, was a mortal woman. From his very first breath, it was clear that Hercules was destined for greatness. However, his life was not meant to be simple or straightforward. Though the heavens smiled upon his birth, there were forces that relentlessly worked against him. Hera, the wife of Zeus, harbored deep resentment towards the child. She viewed him as a symbol of her husband's betrayal and sought to undermine his future. And through her magic, she sent Hercules to Earth, stripping him of his divine birthright. Hercules grew up in the care of a kind-hearted farmer and his wife, who raised him as their own. And while they cherished him, they too noticed that something was extraordinary about the boy. As he matured, his physical strength far surpassed that of any mortal. Hercules could lift massive stones and carry heavy loads with ease, feats that astonished those around him. But over the years, his strength isolated him. Villagers who once admired his talents began to fear his power, and despite his kind nature, Hercules often felt like an outsider. He yearned to understand his place in the world, sensing that his path was far greater than the life he was living. As Hercules entered adulthood, the feelings of isolation intensified, and his desire to uncover the truth about his origins grew stronger with each passing day. Determined to find answers, he ventured to the temple of Zeus, where he sought the wisdom of the gods. Here, he learned the truth about his lineage. He was not only the son of Zeus, but he was also a demigod imbued with the potential to return to the divine realm of Olympus. Yet, there was a challenge before him. To reclaim his divine status, Hercules needed to prove his worth, not only through strength, but through strength of his character. This revelation set Hercules on a journey to prove himself a true hero. His quest was not only to defeat fearsome creatures, but also to demonstrate compassion, courage, and sacrifice. In doing so, he hoped to discover his true place in the world, whether among mortals or gods. His first major challenge came in the form of the Nemean lion, a beast whose hide was said to be invulnerable to any weapon. Hercules faced the lion with his bare hands, using his wit and strength to overcome the creature. With each victory, he grew not only in fame but in understanding of what it meant to be a hero. The next challenge, the many-headed Hydra, forced Hercules to rely on strategy rather than brute force. Each time one of the serpent's heads was severed, two more would grow in its place. Hercules, with the help of his own intellect, found a way to defeat the beast by cauterizing the wounds. These victories reinforced his reputation as the protector of the people, and gradually the villagers who once feared him came to view him as a symbol of hope and safety. As the challenges mounted, so did Hercules' sense of purpose. And yet, the true measure of his heroism would not come from defeating monsters, but from understanding the sacrifices required to protect those who he loved. Hercules' most profound challenge came not in the form of a beast, but in his love for a mortal woman named Megara. Megara was spirited and strong-willed, and though their love was deep, it was also tested by forces beyond their control. Unbeknownst to Hercules, Hades, the god of the underworld, harbored a deep resentment towards him as well, and sought to use Megara to weaken him. Through trickery and manipulation, Hades ensnared Megara's soul, pulling her into the underworld. Hercules, upon learning of her fate, was faced with a harrowing decision. He could either continue his journey to Olympus, securing his place among the gods, or he could risk everything by descending into the underworld to save the woman he loved. With little hesitation, Hercules chose the latter. This decision was not one of strength but of selfishness, descending into the underworld, a place where mortals were never meant to return. Hercules was faced with the ultimate test. It was here, in the realm of shadows, that Hercules demonstrated the depth of his heroism. He offered his life in exchange for megaras, showing that true heroism lies not in conquest or glory, but in the willingness to sacrifice for the sake of others. And through this act of sacrifice, Hercules proved himself not only to the gods, but to all those who had followed his journey. His selfless act restored his divine status, allowing him to return to Olympus. And yet, as he stood on the threshold of immortality, Hercules realized that his heart belonged not in the heavens, but on earth. He understood that true greatness was not found in the power or prestige of becoming a god, but in the connections formed with those he loved. And so, in the end, Hercules chose to remain on Earth, living out his days as a mortal alongside Meg. His story became a beacon of hope for those who felt lost, teaching that true strength comes not from physical power one possesses, but from the courage to follow one's heart. The story of Hercules reminds us that our greatest challenges are often those that test our character, and it is in facing these challenges that we can truly find ourselves.